One of the things I saw in his eyes is what we call petechiae, all the burst blood capillaries. Now,
Yes.
when I've seen that, and also when I talk to nurses, we know that the petechiae can be in the throat, down the throat, on the chest, but when we see it in the eyes, that's normally from choking or strangulation. And, I did hear this clip of Corey
Yeah.
talking to you, and the clip, I mean, it just was so upsetting, Bree. And I just want to say what the bits that I heard, and then you can explain what this clip, how it came about and what happened with it. So Corey said to you, when my dad thinks I should go in my room, he chokes me out of nowhere and bends my head out of nowhere and bends my head all the way to my back. He chokes me a lot. And then the last thing he said in that conversation is he chokes me and I can't breathe. And then I see the petechiae photos and the two. As soon as I saw that photo, I knew he was choking Corey. And then when I heard that
Yeah.
video, oh my goodness, my heart just, and I felt sick. And God
Yeah.
knows how that was for you. Can you just explain, what happened when he was telling you about that and then about court? Because I know it wasn't admissible, was it, at court?
Yeah. So that video was, I would say, in January of 2020. I think I was picking Corey up and we were just, talking like normal. He's in the back, we're driving home, and he starts talking like that. And I'm like, I need to record this because I'll show it. I'll show it to DCP&P. They have to, listen then. So I recorded it without him knowing, and he kept, he talked about it. And I'm like, while this is happening, my jaw is like that, like all the way down here. I'm like, oh my God, but I don't want to like upset him or make him stop talking, So he told me all that, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize, And after that, I took him home. I called DCP&P. You know, they heard the video and they said, well, videos like that, like you could be coaching him. That's what they said to me. Yeah.
Well, I want to say right now that to coach a child, it's almost impossible to tell them to say something that hasn't happened because they can't imagine it. It's not like us as adults,
Yeah.
we can imagine something that didn't happen. For them to conjure up a type of abuse, but the other
Yeah,
part,
that was, yeah, very specific. That's
it was
not
very
what,
specific, the
yeah.
choking. And the way that he said it choked me out of nowhere. And talking about the bedroom, that when he wants him to go in his room and it's a punishment. But we know that any form of choking, it increases the risk sevenfold. Hands around
Hmm.
the neck, hands
Yeah.
around the face. For women and children, it increases the risk sevenfold for homicide. And that's why
Yeah.
I believe, again, this was a murder, because you mean serious harm when you do that to a child. And there was physical evidence. I saw the petechiae in Corey's eye. That's
Yeah.
physical evidence. That's not just hearsay and you have to join those two things together. And that's why I just felt sick to my stomach hearing that. And I wondered whether
Yeah.
they said it's not admissible because you're not meant to record. That was part of the agreement in terms of your time with both of you, your time with Corey. You're not, I couldn't understand why that wasn't admissible when we're talking about a child who had petechiae in the eyes and who was killed. And that for me is wholly relevant. And for professionals, when they're risk assessing, Corey, the future cases that they have to ask about things like that when they see petechiae. It's such a dangerous behavior.
Yeah, so that was also something that was reported to DCP&P, the broken blood vessels in his eyes. Um, DCP&P took the excuse from Chris that he got soap in his eyes and was rubbing too hard. I'm like,
100%
it's
no. And I'm not a
you
medical
think you're going
expert, but
crazy. Yeah, you
yeah.
think you're going crazy, and just knowing what's going on and not being able to do anything, and no one's doing anything, and you know,
I'm so sorry, Brie. I mean, all these things are just such big, glaring red flags to me. And, I've worked these cases. I know what the risks look like. And it's
yeah,
ensuring, I hope this conversation that people listen to, professionals, and other family members, they understand all the high risk behaviors that you were trying to ring the alarm on. You know, the treadmill video we all saw for ourselves, right? As hard as that was to watch, my goodness, you know, I find it excruciating to watch. I have no idea how
Yeah.
that felt for you as mum. You probably just wanted to reach right through the video, you know, and grab your baby boy because what he did was so callous. But that actually came out, and DCPP had that, didn't they? They had it. You talked about your emergency custody order filing, and
Yeah.
they had it just before that because the treadmill was March 20th, and then your filing was March, was it 30th
31st.
or 31st? So what happened with that
Yes.
disconnect? They had that video. Why wasn't it part of the emergency custody order filing?
I didn't find out about this video until the murder investigation was happening and a detective told me. But
Okay, that's
um
good to clear up because I did read somewhere that
yeah,
you knew, but I knew DCP&P knew. So they knew, but you didn't at that
yes.
time.
Yes. So what happened was I reported to DCP&P that Corey told me that his dad made him run on the treadmill because he was 2 hours late. And, he showed me this bruise. And I told them, I gave them that information. And I guess DCP&P went to the gym themselves and they noticed there's a camera. So this is someone from the clubhouse that worked there. They told me this they actually told me this story that the caseworker came, got the video, and they looked because I gave him the date and time that I dropped Corey off. So they
Smart.
watched the video, yeah, and she told me that the caseworker was like, "Oh, that's not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse."
What?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
I know
a
they deal
jury,
with, you know, terrible cases, but come
yeah,
on.
but
I mean, no one can watch that and not see it for what it is. I mean, that's
right,
outrageous. That is abuse. And look, I heard court TV and various professionals all pontificating on whether that's abuse or not, and it's 100%
disgusting.
abuse.
Yeah,
It's not, there's no debate. It is abuse, and thank goodness
yeah.
he was found
Anyone,
guilty for that.
yeah, anyone that doesn't think it's abuse shouldn't be around children, in my opinion, court TV or
Correct.
not. The fact
Correct.
that they are these professionals stating it wasn't that. How?